Hello friends, in this video we will look at how to write a thesis for your PhD work. After so many years of efforts and putting in so much of energy into the PhD, this is a common question among all the PhD pursuers, that how to write the thesis. Now, writing a PhD is an art, and it has more to do with your English writing skills than your technical skills. Of course, English is important, but you can always get it corrected from a language expert. The main key is that you should be clear about what you have done, because PhD thesis is a reflection of everything technical that you have done in the last 3-4 years. Now, PhD thesis is largely theoretical, and you have to mention from the introduction till the conclusions what all steps were carried out, what all was done, what all was analyzed, and how it was analyzed, what was your methodology. All these things are going to come into your PhD thesis. It is like a story from where you begin, from the origin of the problem, to how you overcame and with what accuracy you have overcome that problem. So, necessarily there are 8 chapters in a PhD thesis. The first chapter is the introduction, where you tell what all how the problem was identified, why it is important, so need, importance, scope, and what is the need for that particular problem statement, and your objectives for the PhD. Everything will go here, and plus it is a plus point to include a section where you will mention your original contributions also, because introduction is the first chapter that the examiner is going to read. Therefore, whatever research contributions you have made, they must be mentioned in a very compact section of 1.5 page, and in that, with bullet points, you should highlight what were your research contributions, because that is the most important thing, and you catch the examiner early. In the first chapter itself, you mention the research contributions. So there can be topics like your main introduction, then definition of the problem statement, objectives, need, scope, importance, and then you mention the research contributions. Then we come to the second chapter, which is the literature review. Literature review needs to be a critical analysis of what you have gone through, what were the drawbacks of the previous work, why you thought that this work should be undertaken, and from the literature you have to bring out the substantial substantial proof that this work is required, and therefore you have to do a critical analysis of all the previous works, identify the lacuna in the literature, and you have to mention that very clearly. Then 3, 4, 5, generally there are 3 to 4 chapters, technical chapters in a thesis. In this you have to mention the research methodology, the design of your thesis, all the algorithms, flowcharts, your use case diagrams, they will go here, plus whatever new things that you are proposing, that will come in these particular chapters. Generally, people in common belief is that you can include your research papers here, because generally your research papers is your research contribution. So you have to, but you cannot include them as is. You have to mold the writing in such a manner so that it matches up with the remaining thesis. So generally all your technical contributions will come in this chapter. Then comes your testing and results, which is the 6th or the 7th chapter. In the testing, you have to thoroughly mention from where you have taken the database, or you created it, what effort was spent in that, then how much database is there, and how you have tested your particular application or whatever you have developed, and then your results, comparison with other authors' work, that is very important, and how you have improved from the previous, and then the technical analysis of your results also, in which you mention that why you think that this particular goal was achieved, and you have to critically analyze your testing results, because that is very important. And that is generally when somebody will read your thesis, they will read the introduction, and if they feel that yes, substantial work has been done, then they will go to the testing and the conclusions. And when they find that yes, substantial accuracy has been achieved, only then they will go to the technical chapters. Nobody will start reading from the technical chapters. They will read the introduction, go to the results and conclusions, and only after they are satisfied that yes, substantial work has been done, then they will look at the technical chapters, that how it was done and what is the logic behind, or what is the reasoning behind everything that you are saying that has been achieved. And then in the end there are references. References have to be in a particular format whichever your university subscribes. Please make sure if you're using Mendeley or any other software, because Mendeley generally abbreviates the names of the journals, and there are some problems in the writing of the thesis, and therefore it is best that you check it manually and you match each reference, the number, year, and the author names, order of the author names. Everything is very critical, because comments can come in the references section also. And then there are appendices which are required for the previous knowledge that is required to understand your thesis. So generally you don't include all the details of the previous works or previous knowledge or the basic knowledge. You don't include in the main thesis. You put that in the appendices, and then you refer to those appendices in your thesis. All the figures, diagrams should be clear, and it is good if they are colorful, because that is more understandable. And you're going to print your thesis only once in a lifetime, and therefore you have to give the best effort. And generally universities have their own format for writing the thesis, in the sense that what is the font, what is color is allowed, what is the spacing. So generally you can ask all these details from the academic wing of your university, and you can find out that how the formatting has to be done. And in my case, what I did was I found the formatting guidelines in the beginning only, and while writing side by side I did the formatting. So you don't spend extra effort in formatting your thesis later on. While you are writing, the same time you format it also, so that it becomes easier for you to carry out the things. So I hope this video is useful to you, and writing the PhD thesis is easy for you now. And one thing that you have to understand is each thesis is different. Each author has their own thought behind the work that they have carried out, and therefore there is no general formula. If you want to think out of the box, you are most welcome. But just make sure that whoever reads your thesis, it is a good time for them to read it and understand it. And it should be as a complete package where they gain a lot of things from your experience. So basically, whatever technical experience you have gained, you have to put everything into that one document, so that whoever reads it, they feel enriched and enlightened. So I hope this video is useful to you. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.